Good morning, students. So in the previous video we had seen about the waveguide dispersion. Now in this video we will be seeing about the intermodal dispersion. So intermodal dispersion, as we said, there is going to be dispersion itself, means it is a pulse broadening. So the pulse broadening is going to be caused by the propagation delay differences. That is, through the optical fiber we are going to have a number of modes to be traveling, and these number of modes are going to have the number of rays. That is, in your optical fiber you are going to have the light to travel, and the light is going to be traveling at different modes there. So when there is going to be a propagation delay difference between the modes within the multimode fiber, then there is a chance of pulse broadening to occur at the output. So here, when there is going to be a different modes in the pulse, we are going to take a multimode fiber, and these modes are going to have different group velocities, and because of this different group velocities, the pulse width at the output is going to be dependent on the transmission time of the slowest and the fastest modes. So when an optical fiber, I am going to have a number of modes, and each mode is going to be traveling at different group velocities. The output, the pulse width at the output is going to depend on the slowest mode as well as the fastest mode, which is going to be received at the receiver there. So for a multimode step index fiber, there is going to be a large amount of intermodal dispersion to occur. So that means that it is going to have the greatest pulse broadening there. So in a step index fiber, we know that the refractive index is going to be uniform. So when it's going to be uniform, there is going to be a chance of the difference, the propagation delay difference between the slowest and fastest mode. So as a result, the greatest pulse broadening effect will be there. So how to reduce it is, how to reduce that pulse broadening is, we can go for your optimum refractive index profile. So optimum refractive index profile is nothing but, in the core we should not have a uniform refractive index. Instead, if I am going to have a variation of the refractive index of the profile, then in that case we can see that the pulse broadening effect can be reduced. So that is nothing but a multimode graded index fiber. So we can go for a multimode graded index fiber where the refractive index is going to vary continuously through the core. So here in this case, your graded index fiber, when I go, it is going to be in your multimode source, the bandwidth can be increased there. So if I am going to take a step index fiber where the refractive index is going to be same, you are going to have the fastest mode. The fastest mode is nothing but the axial ray. That is where the ray is going to travel along the axis of the fiber. And the slowest mode is nothing but the meridional ray, where the ray is going to cross the axis of the fiber there. That is called the meridional ray. So it is going to take different paths. As a result, it is going to be a slowest mode, and the fastest mode is when the ray is going to propagate along the axis of the fiber there. So when these two rays arrive at the receiver side, there is going to be a propagation difference between the fastest and the slowest ray there. So as a result, pulse broadening is going to occur, and that pulse broadening is going to be called as your intermodal dispersion there. So here the both rays are going to be assumed to have same velocity, and it is going to be traveling in the core with a constant refractive index there. So as a result, we say that the delay difference is going to be directly proportional to the respective path length which is going to be within the fiber there. So here the time taken for the axial ray to travel along the fiber of length L is going to be given by the minimum delay time. Minimum delay time is nothing but axial ray is fastest. Fastest means the delay time is going to be minimum. So we define it as T min. T min is equal to distance by velocity. So distance is nothing but L, the length of the fiber. Velocity is going to be given by C by N1. So I can write it as L into N1 by C, where N1 is the refractive index of the core and C is going to be the velocity of the light in vacuum. So next is the extreme meridional ray. So extreme meridional ray is, it is going to take the various paths. So since it is going to take the various paths, this is your meridional ray, it is going to take various paths, and it is going to be reflected, and it is going to be received at the receiver side. So we take some maximum time. So maximum time we denote it as T max. So T max is nothing but, if I am going to see this is going to be your hypotenuse. Here in this case, this is going to be your opposite side, and this is going to be your adjacent side. So we can write it as your distance. Distance is nothing but L by cos theta, and by your velocity is going to be C by N1. So here if I am going to simplify it, it is L N1 divided by C into cos theta. So using Snell's law, we know that n1 sin phi is equivalent to n2 sin phi there. So here n2 is the refractive index of the cladding. So we can write sin phi c is equivalent to n2 by n1 is equivalent to cos theta. So here this cos theta is nothing but n2 by n1. So replace it here. So here we can see that this is your optical fiber, this is your core, and this is the cladding surface. So core is going to have a refractive index n1, cladding is going to have a refractive index n2. So now the light rays are going to be incident with different modes. It is going to be incident into the fiber. So first ray is going to be from the air. We are going to incident the light into the fiber, and this ray is going to form the axis, that is going to follow the axis of the fiber there. That ray is going to be called as the axial ray, and it is going to travel faster and it is going to reach at the receiver. So we call this as your slowest, that is your fastest mode. Then next is we are going to take another ray which is going to be instant into the fiber, and when it is going to strike the core cladding interface, it is going to strike at an angle of the critical angle. So when it is going to be equivalent to when the angle of incident is going to be equivalent to the critical angle, then in that case your wave will be reflected back into the fiber. So when it is reflected back into the fiber, this ray will cross the axis of the fiber. So that ray is going to be called as the meridional ray. So when the meridional ray strikes the core cladding interface, again this angle, it is going to make an angle equivalent to the critical angle, so or greater than the critical angle there. So when it is going to be equivalent or greater, again the wave is going to be reflected back into the fiber there. So this ray is going to take multiple paths. As a result, it is going to be a slowest ray. So when the slowest and the fastest mode reach at the fiber, there is going to be a propagation delay difference, and because of this propagation delay difference, we are going to have the pulse broadening to occur. Now this cos theta is nothing but we know n2 by n1, that we are going to substitute in this formula there. So if I substitute it, here your Tmax can be written as Ln1 square by Cn2. Now we want to find out what is going to be the delay difference del Ts. So the delay difference is between the extreme meridional ray and the axial ray is going to be given as Tmax minus T minimum. Tmax is Ln1 square by Cn2, T minimum is going to be Ln1 by C. So if I take out your Ln1 square by Cn2 outside, I can write it as n1 minus n2 by n1. So this is nothing but the refractive index difference there. So I can write it as your del, we know that it is n1 minus n2 by n2. So here n1 minus n2 by n2, I will write it as del, and this n1 we can take it outside there. So Ln1 square del divided by Cn2. Now where del is the relative refractive index difference. So del Ts is equal to Ln1 by C into n1 minus n2 divided by n2. So here this n1 and this n1 cancels, this n2 comes inside, so that is your n1 minus n2 by n2. This n1 minus n2 by n2 is nothing but del. So I can write the relative refractive index, that is your del Ts, the delay difference is going to be Ln1 del by C. So here del Ts is, that is nothing but, in terms of numerical aperture, it can be written as L into Na the whole square by 2n1 into C, where Na is nothing but the numerical aperture of the fiber there. So now we are going to estimate what is going to be the maximum pulse broadening that is going to take place in the time domain because of the intermodal dispersion that is occurring in the multimode step index fiber. So here in the step index fiber, we are going to find out what is the RMS pulse broadening effect there. So when the optical input fiber, this is your optical input to the fiber, which is nothing but a pulse. The pulse is going to be represented by Pi of t, which is going to have an unit area there. So unit area means your amplitude of the pulse is going to be 1 by del Ts, and the limit is going to be from minus del Ts by 2 to del Ts by 2. So now this is your pulse Pi of t, which is going to have an unit area that we are going to write as 1. The limit is going to be from minus infinity to infinity. But here the pulse is actually from minus del Ts by 2 to del Ts by 2. So we write minus del Ts by 2 greater than or equivalent to P of t, but less than or equivalent to del Ts by 2. So the RMS pulse broadening at the fiber output due to intermodal dispersion for the multimode step index fiber sigma S can be given in terms of variance. So the variance of this pulse broadening is going to be m2 minus m1, where m2 is nothing but the first temporal moment, which is going to be equivalent to the mean value of the pulse, and m2 is going to be the second temporal moment, which is equivalent to the mean square of the pulse there, mean square value of the pulse. So we write m1 is equivalent to integral minus infinity to infinity t into pi of t dt, and m2 component is going to be the second temporal component, that is your minus infinity to infinity t square into pi of t dt. So when I take the average, the mean value is going to be 0. So that means that m1 square is going to be 0. This one is going to be 0, and we are going to have only the mean square value of the pulse. So we write sigma s square is equivalent to m2. So m2 is nothing but integral minus infinity to infinity t square into pi of t dt. So here t is the amplitude is nothing but your pi of t is 1 by del ts. Limit is from minus del ts by 2 to del ts by 2 into t square dt. So now 1 by del ts is a constant, take it out. The integral of t square is t cube by 3. Apply the limits there. So if you apply it, your answer is going to be 1 by 3 into del ts by 2 the whole square. So now we want to find out what is your pulse broadening there. So sigma s. So sigma s is nothing but L n1 delta divided by 2 root 3 c. Or we can write it as L into numerical aperture the whole square by 4 root 3, because del ts is nothing but 2 n1c. So we can write as 4 root 3 n1c. So del ts, substitute this del ts value. Del ts is nothing but L into na the whole square divided by this 2 is going to be multiplied. It is going to be 4 into n1c into root 3. This is square. If I take it out, it is going to be root 3 here. So that is what we are going to write. So we can say that the pulse broadening is going to be directly proportional to the length of the fiber as well as to the relative refractive index difference there. And next is the pulse broadening can be reduced if I am going to reduce the relative index, the reduction in the relative refractive index difference there. If the del value is going to be reduced, my pulse broadening is also going to be reduced there. So here we will see an example, a 6 km optical link which is going to consist of a multimode step index fiber with a core refractive index of 1.5 and relative refractive index difference of 1%. So we are going to estimate the delay difference between the slowest and fastest mode at the fiber output, the RMS pulse broadening due to intermodal dispersion on the link, the maximum bit rate that may be obtained without substantial errors on the link, assuming only intermodal dispersion, and last one is the bandwidth length product there. So the delay differences, your formula is del L n1 delta by c. So L value is nothing but the given L value is 6 kilometers, so 6 into 10 power 3, n1 is 1.5, del value is nothing but 1%, so it is 1 by 100.01 divided by c value is 3 into 10 power 8. So if I substitute it, the delay difference is going to be 300 nanoseconds. That is the first part. Next is RMS pulse broadening. RMS pulse broadening is nothing but sigma s is equal to L n1 delta by 2 root 3 c. So 1 by 2 root 3 if I am going to have it, take it. Remaining is your L is 6 into 10 power 3, n1 is 1.5, del is 0.01, c value is 3 into 10 power 8, that is nothing but 86.7 nanosecond. That is the pulse broadening that we get due to intermodal dispersion. So the maximum bit rate is nothing but 1 by 2 tau. 2 tau is nothing but the pulse spreading, that is del ts. So del ts is nothing but, here we are going to have your 300 nanoseconds. So that we are going to substitute it. So 1 by 2 into 300 nanoseconds is 1 by 600 nanoseconds. So it is 1.7 megabits per second. Or in terms of your pulse broadening, your Bt max is equal to 0.2 divided by sigma s. So sigma s is 86.7. If I substitute it, we will be getting 2.3 megabits per second. Next is the bandwidth length product. Bandwidth length product is nothing but B opt into L. So bandwidth into length. Bandwidth is 2.3 into length is 6 km. It is 13.8 megahertz kilometer there. Next is the intermodal dispersion. We have to reduce the intermodal dispersion. So the intermodal dispersion can be reduced by choosing proper propagation mechanisms within the fiber there. So in that case, what we have to do is we have to go for the differential attenuation of the various modes that is going to take place inside the step index fiber. So here, because of the higher field penetration that is going to take place in the higher order modes into the cladding of the waveguide, we are going to take the slower modes there. So the slower modes are going to exhibit the larger losses at any core there. So in that case, we are at any core cladding regularities, which is going to concentrate the transmitted optical power into the faster, lower order modes. So in this case, the faster mode, when the energy is going to be transmitted from the core to the cladding surface, a portion of the energy will be transmitted back into the lower order modes there. So because of that, we will be having a differential attenuation of the modes, which is going to reduce the intermodal pulse broadening on a multimode optical link. So here we are going to have the differential attenuation of the various modes in the step index fiber. By having the differential attenuation, we can reduce the intermodal dispersion there. So here in this case, we are going to take a non-perfect multimode fiber, where the non-perfect multimode fiber can be taken by can reduce a intermodal pulse broadening by mode coupling or mixing method. So mode coupling is when I am going to couple one fiber to the other fiber, the guided modes are going to transfer the optical power from the slower mode to the faster mode and vice versa there. So in that case, a strong coupling is going to happen, and as a result, the optical power is going to be transmitted at an average speed. So where we are going to get the mean of the propagating modes there. So next one is how we are going to reduce the intermodal dispersion on the link. Link is by using your mode coupling. So mode coupling within the multimode fibers. So that can be got by your del TSC is equivalent to N1 delta by C into LLC in whole power half, where LC is nothing but the characteristic length of the fiber, which is going to be inversely proportional to the coupling strength. So here the intermodal dispersion in multi-fiber is going to be got by grading the core refractive index. That is, the core refractive index should have a parabolic profile there. If it is going to have a parabolic profile, the variation in the refractive index, then we can reduce the intermodal dispersion. Thank you.